Hello YouTube, and a special hello to John and Barrett for whom I'm doing this reading. I have about 9 or 10 poems in front of me, and we'll see how many of them I can read in the space of, say, 12 to 15 minutes. And this will be our fireside reading, as it were. I'm going to begin with a relatively recent poem. It is about an imaginary encounter on the Red Line, and it is called Audrey. I'm calling you Audrey because you look like an Audrey, but you might be a Cindy or an Elizabeth. I'm that fellow who was riding the Red Line at 6:43 a.m. last Tuesday. I was wearing my navy blue Land's End jacket with a lemon-colored Mayor Pete button and scanning the train for a vacant seat that didn't have anyone next to it. When you stood beside me, with one small fist clutching the subway car strap, and you struck up a convo about Thai food and snarky baristas, and your cousin Gretchen, who believes that toothpaste is satanic, and your Uncle Keith, who likes his gin martinis. I was charmed by your unobtrusive nose ring and by the purple paintbrush overhang of hair that covered your left eyebrow. You told me all about your small town in the Dakotas, its arid hectares of moralism, its brittle miles of twisted scripture, how ready you were to kick rocks at 16 and find diversity and hail science and gobble $3 pretzels and connect with a boy who loved neo-soul and cuddle with a girl who rescued stray kittens. I was magnetized by the way you said noggin instead of head. I was delighted by your horn-rimmed glasses, making you look like a millennial female Clark Kent, quirky and Instagrammable. I was captivated by the way you waved when you got off the train at Charles MGH to start another day of your fascinating life, of blue lipstick and gray paperwork, of tuna salad in Tupperware, of studious podcasts and flurries of bisexual laughter. Here's another portrait of a young woman one encounters in one's travels. This is about an actual barista from actual Arlington Center in an actual Cafe Nero. One of my favorite baristas in all of human history. This is called Capriccio, and it is about Sophia the barista, and her name features as a refrain throughout the poem. Sophia the barista, you're a ray of April sun. I think I may have been your age in 1991. Sophia the barista, you're a classic symphony. Were you around in 92 or even 93? Sophia the barista, you have charm I can't ignore. I haven't met a soul so kind since 1994. Sophia the barista, you're dynamic, you're alive. A life I'm guessing that began in 1995. Sophia the barista, you allay my coffee fix, and I don't mind if you were born in 1996. Sophia the barista, you're a visitor from heaven. Had you come down to grace the earth by 1997? Sophia the barista, you're astonishingly great. It's odd, but you might not remember 1998. Sophia the barista, you're a rose, you're sparkling wine. You're when doves cry, you're purple rain, you're 1999. Pardon the shuffling of paper and the grabbing of a little booklet. I'm going to next read a poem that was published in Plain Songs magazine in the summer of 2019. It was one of its 3 prize-winning poems for that issue. It is a sonnet, and it is called Detox. A hurt woman of 30, 35, doing a 7-day stint at Pine Grove Detox, paces, hazy, puzzled to be alive, feet wedged in flip-flops, sheathed in dirty socks. Her voice is Castle Island, her first name a common one for children of the 80s. She clings to the few comforts of this Hades, cigarettes, decaf coffee, shared shame. Red-haired, her face all freckle and tear-streak, familiar as Broadway or Andrew Station, she manages both defiance and defeat. I ponder the sad mystery of her feet scuffing the lysoled halls of desolation, where she'll get sober, if only for a week. I have a poet friend who is nearly a generation younger than I am, whom I admire immensely. I balk at using her full first name for some reason, so this is Psalm for C. Queer woman of 30, muscular-minded, supple-spirited, proverbs live behind your eyeglasses, sonnets compose themselves in your Birkenstocks. Your heart is Hildegard and hesychasm, your squiggly smile abashes the patriarchy. Dogmatisms wither beneath your feet, O godmother of my wackiest lyrics, O vestry woman of the gayest chapels. This is a poem inspired by my late friend Jen, about whom I will probably still be writing poems until the end of my days. This is called Requiescat. The lips that made my cold heart melt are ashes scattered on the plain. The feet at which I would have knelt will never walk this way again. The heart that pulsed with loving rage is dead as carved dates on a stone. That voice struck dumb in middle age that told me, you are not alone. Those shining, fierce, compassionate eyes no longer laugh, no longer weep. That mind so mischievous, so wise, has lapsed into perpetual sleep. I'm going to read a couple of older poems now. I think I have time. There was a woman in college about whom I was just absolutely bonkers, crazy, smitten, taken, over the moon. And I wrote a whole lot of bad love poetry in tribute of her. This is one of the better ones, I think. I could be deceiving myself. It's called She. She was Carmen Jones and Killing Me Softly, the tents of Kedar and the curtains of Salma. She was Charlie Parker and Lady Day, the Nobel Prize, the Impossible Dream, Michelangelo, and the month of May. She was signed, sealed, delivered, blinded by the light, betcha by golly wow. She was Hammer and Hank, Earth, Wind, and Fire, bumblebees and baptism, and the wine of astonishment. She ruled him like Britannia, she laid him waste like Carthage. Vesuvius and Venus, Fra Lippo Lippi and the 3 degrees, sugar pie, honey bunch, the summer of love, she was all that. She was Beatrice and Brooklyn, Easter and ecstasy, happiness and apple blossoms. She was Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, Pavarotti and Purple Rain, an ode to joy and a song of praise. She was All Hail the Queen, she was Opposites Attract, she was black by popular demand. She was Coffee and the Cocteau Twins, Death Be Not Proud and Do the Right Thing, What's Going On and Fight the Power, the joyful Kilmarnock blues. She was the fall of the wall, the exultet, the magnificat, a velvet revolution in living color. She was the second martini and the third glorious mystery. She was Ella singing Cole Porter. She was under his skin, but good. And continuing in a fairly light-hearted vein, I have a bunch of poems that are letters to my friend Elena, my poet friend in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, Elena Johnson. She's 36 years old or something. She grew up in very, very rural Illinois, and she writes poetry that I feel rivals that of Mary Oliver or Jane Kenyon, two people whom she credits as influences. But this is a lighthearted tribute to Elena. It's called 62nd Letter to Elena. Elena Lee Johnson, the noble, the kind, the everything else that comes into my mind. This jingle has journeyed, oh, many a mile, in the fond hope of making Elena Lee smile. A blessing this Advent from Arlington, Mass. I toast you with eggnog and empty my glass. You're a star, you're a splendor, you shine, ever bright. You paint, and you sing, and you play, and you write. I've got an appointment at 10:15, but I have enough time to grab hold of my pen and jot down a rhyme to a poet so nifty they'll be reading her in the year 2250. From proper New England to proud Illinois, cold shrubs in winter will blossom for joy, and snowmen will dance from Quebec to Wisconsin in a party of praise for the peerless Ms. Johnson. She liked it. She has read the poem and she liked it. I have, I think, 2 poems left, and then I shall end the reading. That went by fast. I can't believe 12 and a half minutes already. But I mentioned Elena, and the next poem I'm going to read is 89th Letter to Elena. This poem and the poem that follows are forthcoming in the online magazine Soul Lit, a journal of spiritual poetry. 89th Letter to Elena. Tomorrow I'll be seeing Allison, my therapist, at 10 a.m. I should get ready for sleep. Instead, I'm drinking coffee. Some days I'm weary, glum. I get vague urges to drop in on the Quakers, visit the Trappists, learn Welsh, take guitar lessons. On other days, there are unexpected blessings. During the drive home from Concord Friday night with Mary and Hillary and Linda, my friends sang Moon Shadow and Oh, What a Beautiful Morning. And there was Sunday's reading with Kristen H. and Shara M., noble and necessary voices. But please, tell me what's going on with you in Milwaukee. Are there fleet-footed baristas gliding through crowded cafes like millennial Fred Astaire's? Are there parks with fierce sparrows and heat-wilted tiger lilies? Are there August leaves the color of trash bags? Is there sunlight that bothers your eyes, haze that buzzes around you like a small swarm of flies? Do you take your bike to the river and hang with a crew of red-winged blackbirds? And finally, this is a poem I like. I have to, not to, I feel I got something right in this poem. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't, but I'll end with this one. Women of Newfoundland. Women are wise in Newfoundland. They speak sage words with platinum blossoms in their voices. They sing bold songs with heart-harrowed earth in each note. Women are strong in Newfoundland, rambunctious as oceans, philosophic as the stars, with poems and power in their unstumbling feet, with Dante and divinity in their fearless eyes, with harp and psaltery in the swooning curve of their bellies. Women are lively in Newfoundland, spendthrift of mercy, quick with justice, poetic as twilight, intoxicating as chartreuse, intricate as astrophysics, simple as bread. Women are real in Newfoundland. Legions of men obey their eloquence. Countless acolytes observe their silence. I hope you understand. Women are beautiful in Newfoundland. Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Barrett. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this reading, and I hope it won't be the last. Happy Advent, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Winter Solstice, Winter Holidays. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.